Hello again, and welcome to eNastava. My name is Helga Kraljik, and today we will be talking about World Wildlife Day. In today's lesson, we will focus on the importance of the World Wildlife Day. We will listen to a song and recognize environmental issues it addresses. Then, it'll be your turn to be creative. So first, you will create an environmental acrostic poem, and after that, a wildlife fact file. For this lesson, you will need your notebook, something to write with, and a smartphone or laptop with internet connection. In order to do some exercises, you will have to pause the video. When you see the pause button on the screen, it'll be your signal to pause the recording in order to do some exercises. World Wildlife Day is an opportunity for everyone to step back, to take a deep breath, and to think about all that surrounds us, all the beautiful wild animals and plants. Do you know when World Wildlife Day is celebrated and since when? Do you know why it is important to mark this day? What the Croatian equivalent would be, or what the theme in 2022 will be? What can we do to get involved? Pause the video now and research the World Wildlife Day online and try to find this info. All the answers you were supposed to find are here. There are also some extras. So pause the video now and check your work. So, World Wildlife Day is celebrated on March the 3rd, and it has been since 2013. We mark this day because of the continued loss of species, habitats, and ecosystems which threaten all life on Earth. In Croatian, we say Svjetski dan divljih vrsta. The theme in the year 2022 is recovering key species for ecosystem restoration. The least we can do is take part in World Wildlife Day virtual global event. However, there is also a number of activities that we could take a more active part in. Think of a unique activity to raise the awareness of the importance of taking an active part in this year's theme. When you think of the activity, you will break your own news to inform people about it. To break your news to inform people, go to breakyourownnews.com or scan the code. When you create it, download the image and share it with your virtual class. Do you recognize the singer in this picture? Do the titles of his very famous songs help? You must have heard of Michael Jackson. He was famous for producing socially conscious songs such as We Are the World or Heal the World. The same goes for Earth Song, which was released in 1995. Before watching the video, read these questions, as later you will be asked to write the answers in your notebook. Go to bit.ly mgearth or scan the code to access the video now. Don't forget to answer the questions in your notebook. Let's check your work. The video is about the destruction but also rebirth of the Earth. As for the regions where the video was shot, you must recognize the Amazon rainforest, Africa, and you might have guessed that one part was shot in Croatia during the Croatian Homeland War. The problems the video addresses are deforestation in the Amazon rainforest, poaching in Africa, animal cruelty in the far north, the war in Croatia, pollution, and poverty. In the end, the Earth is reborn with the help of some higher power. The last question is quite personal. I hope you do think that there is still hope for us. It's your turn to be creative now. You are going to write an acrostic poem, and it is going to be about the environment. An acrostic poem is a poem where letters in each line spell out a word, a phrase, and this is usually some kind of a message. Our task for you is to write a poem in which the first letters in each line spell the title of Michael Jackson's song we have just talked about, Earth Song. While writing your poem, bear in mind the following. Each verse should consist of at least one word. The vocabulary you use should be environmental, because the topic is environment. Finally, try to finish with something positive, because we believe that there is still hope for us. We are now ready to create wildlife fact file. First, agree if you are going to work in pairs or individually. Then decide what endangered animal would you like to do an extensive research on. When you've done with your research, read the Wildlife Fact File guidelines carefully and be careful to include all the areas in your research. When you are done, you will create a digital design. These Wildlife Fact File guidelines give you a clear overview of what your research should be based on and what your digital design should include. Read them carefully and make sure you include all the parts. Your fact file is not done yet. Imagine you need to present your research and your digital design in classroom. You would then need to prepare your presentation, right? Rehearse your oral presentation, and when you think you're ready, record yourself presenting it. We recommend using Vocaroo.com because, as you can see here, it will provide you with both a link and a QR code, which you will need for the next step. So, download the QR code of your oral presentation and add it to your digital design. In this way, your teacher and your classmates will be able to see your design and by scanning the code, listen to your presentation. Before submitting your work, it is always a good idea to go through the guidelines again to make sure you have covered all the areas. When completing a task in any subject, you can design a table like this based on the task or project guidelines that your teacher gave you. This will help you make sure that you have completed all the steps before your task is marked. In our case, have I statements would look like this. So before submitting your work to your teacher, check if you have chosen an endangered animal, if you have covered all the areas in the guidelines table, if you have created a digital design and prepared the oral presentation. Have you been careful about the language and vocabulary used in both digital design and in oral presentation? Have you used linking words? Have you recorded yourself? And have you added the QR code to your digital design? Do you remember this from the beginning of today's lesson? Can you answer these questions now? If you need help with some of the questions, feel free to go back in this video lesson. That would be all for today. Bye.